Welcome back to esteemed viewers in another edition of God Manifold Wisdom. I'm Pastor Kevin Afaksad and we're glad to have you. If it is the first time for tuning in, it's a pleasure. Consider liking this video, sharing it with a friend, and subscribing to our channel. You can also hit the notification bell icon so that whenever we upload a new video, it can come your way. Today, we want to continue with some topic we started much earlier, and we're in the part 4 of this topic, why God has chosen Cameroon in Africa and transferred to Cameroon all the unfulfilled conditional prophecies connected to Israel. In this part 4, we will go straight to why has God chosen Cameroon. Now see, friends, when God chooses a nation, he doesn't choose it because of the fertility of the land. He doesn't choose it because it has a lot of gold, a lot of oil, a lot of mineral reserves and all that. Because if that is the case why God chose Cameroon, then he could have chosen as well other nations which are more which have more resources than that. We can consider like the Malabo petrol in Equatorial Guinea. We can consider the diamonds, the gold in South Africa, or even the plenteous mineral reserves in the DRC Congo. So if it is that God was choosing a country because of whatever is underneath the land, therefore he could have chosen any other country apart from Cameroon. But that is not the reason why God chose a nation. So why has God chosen Cameroon? So when God chooses a nation, he chooses the people. Now when he chooses the people, it is those who are his sons and daughters of God. Therefore it means for God to choose Cameroon, it's because he knew that he will have sons and daughters of God at this dispensation of the fullness of time, secondfold, or the end of the end time. Now, when he has chosen their sons or daughters of God, why has he chosen them? Has he chosen the sons and daughters of God because of the size of their body, because of their muscles, because of their intelligence or their IQ? No, that is not the case. Just like in the time when Samuel was sent to the house of Jesse. So don't look at the outward appearance. Therefore, for God to choose a people, he chooses them because of their heart. Now we talk about the heart, what is according to his heart. Therefore, if he has chosen Cameroon, he has chosen Cameroon because of the sons and daughters of God who are in Cameroon, and he has chosen those sons and daughters of God because of the heart, because of what he deposited in them before the foundation of the world, that they are his indwelling places. Now, another thing we have to understand is that when God chooses a nation, automatically he has chosen the government. Now this might be a bit startling, but how can God choose the government? No, he chooses the government for the very reason he has chosen the people. He chooses the people because he has chosen their heart. And he chooses the government because he has chosen their heart. Now what is the heart of the government? Every government has its heart. Those are the policies, the modalities, the principles that a government brings forth. Therefore, since he has chosen Cameroon, he has chosen the government, and he has chosen the government because of its policies. That is what we call the heart. Now, we'll have many other things to talk about how God has chosen the government of Cameroon, but that will be in another edition of God Manifold Wisdom channel, whereby we'll be talking about why God has kept in the helm of power His Excellency President Paul Biya for 38 years, and why he is a prophet of God who is greater than John the Baptist. You can watch, you can find that in this channel after a short while. Let us continue with what we have here with us today. Why has God chosen Cameroon? Now understand that God has chosen Cameroon so that the secondfold of the ministry of Jesus Christ should be fulfilled from there. You'll wonder, what is that? Hebrews 8:6 says that Jesus Christ came under a more excellent ministry. It is called more excellent ministry because it is more excellent compared to the excellent ministries of Moses, which was a ministry of condemnation, to the ministry of Elijah and other ministries of such manner. Now, Christ came under a more excellent ministry, and we are told in Hebrews 12:2 that he's the author and perfecter or finisher of our faith. And we are also told in Galatians chapter 4 verse 4 that when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem those who are under the law, so that we can obtain the adoption of sons. Now, in the fullness of time, Fast forward, that is when the church, that's when the dispensations allocated for the Old Testament had come to a consummation. God sent forth his son. And at that time, Jesus Christ, coming under the more excellent ministry, he was able to achieve redemption. He was able to author the faith. But concerning perfecting the faith or finishing the faith or concerning adoption, he postponed it to the achievement stage of the very more excellent ministry. Now, the achievement stage of the more excellent ministry is what we call the ministry of achievement. And now, when you say God has chosen Cameroon, he has chosen it so that that can be where he begins his more excellent ministry in its achievement stage, which is the second fold of Jesus Christ's ministry. That is one of the reasons. We'll talk about this more in other editions. Another reason why God has chosen Cameroon is for the purposes of adoption. The adoption that was not wrought in the fullness of time, first fold, must be brought forth in this dispensation of the fullness of time, second fold, that is mentioned in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 9 to 10. The other reason is because of perfection. Jesus said, Matthew 5:48, be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. And we saw, even when you're talking about God choosing Israel in shadow as a borrowed specimen, he told them, be perfect before me. We saw that was a provocation, trying to ask perfection from people who are under the law, and the law cannot present anyone perfect. Therefore, Israel was being requested to appear as perfect men and women before the earth. Now, what Israel could not present, Cameroon must present. Cameroon will be the one which will present men and women made perfect before this creation. That has never happened since Jesus said, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. No nation, no country, no peoples have ever appeared perfect. The first people to appear perfect will be the bride from Cameroon, and those will be the first fruits to show how the rest of the bride from other nations shall be. The other thing why God has chosen Cameroon is for the purpose of glorification. It means that the first time we'll find men and women born under the yoke of sin, subjected to vanity. The first time we'll have such men appearing in glorified bodies, walking the streets of this world. That will happen for the very first time in Cameroon. It is one of the reasons why God has chosen Cameroon. Now, understand, Cameroon is also referred to as the horse of Africa. And a horse is a power. So God has chosen Cameroon because Cameroon is the power of Africa. If anything, recently a photo was taken. God transformed the map of Cameroon on the skies of Africa into a horse that is riding. That is clearly demonstrated that the horn, in the map of Cameroon, the horn into Chad was transformed to be the front feet of this horse, showing that and signifying that Cameroon is the horse of Africa, the power of Africa, that the liberation of Africa from the neo-colonial Caucasian oppressors will take place starting from Cameroon, where the kingdom of heavens is at hand. Another reason why God has chosen Cameroon, as we see in Isaiah 19, I think to 22, he says, in that day there shall be an altar or a tabernacle unto the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt. See, Egypt is not the country we have there up in the north called Egypt. No, those Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, and even these countries, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, all these countries, they came along. Their boundaries, their lines of demarcations were presented in the 1884 Berlin Conference. But Isaiah wrote Isaiah 19 way back, more than 700 years before Christ. That is many, many more years before Berlin Conference. And he said, there shall be an altar, a tabernacle unto the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt. It is the entire Africa that was referred to as Egypt in the Bible. Egypt is not the nation Egypt you're having there. No, the entire Africa was called Egypt, and it was also called the land of Ham. And the inhabitants were the black Africans. They were the ones who are called the Egyptians. And he's saying that he shall place an altar unto the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt. If you look at the map of Africa, the central part, the midst of the land of Africa, we find Cameroon, which is actually at the hinge of Africa. We look at it that it is the only country whereby you find it is within two regions. Half of it is in the Central Africa, the other half is in the West Africa. that is in the midst of the land of Egypt. It has been placed like that, not for nothing, but for a purpose. That's one of the reasons why God has chosen Cameroon, that it shall be an altar, a tabernacle unto the Lord in the midst of Africa. Why? Because there God will find sons and daughters of God, who shall leave all distractions, who shall leave all pleasure, and present themselves as a living sacrifice, and manifest God on the scene in human flesh, in glorified bodies. That was foreseen way back, and it must be presented by Cameroon in this particular time. Another reason is that Cameroon has been chosen as a turning point, as a platform of humanity. If anything, it has been referred to as the solution center of humanity. Cameroon being the solution center of humanity. Isaiah chapter 2, Micah chapter 4 talks about that all nations shall gather together in the mountain that is above all other mountains and all other hills. A mountain is a kingdom, a mountain is a power, and a kingdom is a nation. The nation that shall be above all nations, even being the kingdom of God, is Cameroon. So it has been chosen for that. And it says, all people shall go to seek the law of the Lord in Mount Zion. Mount Zion is the body bride. Paul called the bride Mount Zion in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 18 to 24. He said that ye are not come into a mount that can be touched by all this, whereby even Moses trembled when he saw that, when there was darkness and tempest and everything like that. He said, but ye are come to Mount Zion, and to the city of the living God, and to the innumerable company of angels, and to the space of just men made perfect, and to the church of the living God. He says, you have come unto the God, the judge of all, unto Jesus Christ, Jesus, the mediator of the new covenant. He says the Mount Zion is the church of the living God. The bride of Christ is Mount Zion, symbolized like that. So that is why Cameroon has been chosen also as a turning point, as a platform of the whole humanity, as a solution center of humanity. Another thing we want to look at is that when you look at Revelation chapter 21, verse 16, it talks about this New Jerusalem, and with this New Jerusalem, as I said, is a body bride. It talks about when it is being symbolized, when it is being shown to John in vision. It can be shown in and represented in symbols, in physical things that he can touch, physical things that he can see. Meanwhile, the reality are things he cannot see, and those realities are dwelling within him. So he was being taken within himself to see things which is describing with things he already sees. But meanwhile, those things he is describing with things he can see, those things are unseen, and those things are within himself. That is the New Jerusalem. Jesus said, Matthew 5, he said that ye are a city that is on a hill. You cannot hide your light under a bushel. We are that New Jerusalem. Now, it will say that the length, the breadth, the height were the same. There are only two things that can have similar height, breadth, and length and all that. Maybe a cube or a pyramid. So we see that this city was pyramidal. Now, the bride of Christ is symbolized as the Mount Zion. And the pyramid is a symbol of a mountain, and a mountain is a symbol of the bride. Therefore, when this city is pyramidal, it is a symbol of what? The very bride. But what is more interesting is this. Just listen to this. You see what is there. When God knew that he will choose Africa, he predestinated a place in the midst of Africa, as you see, Cameroon as the altar, a tabernacle unto the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt. He presented a place in the middle of Africa, and that land, that nation, he made sure that it will have the authentic, almost the authentic pyramidal form. If you look at the German Cameroon of 1884, if you look at the map, you see that that was the nation out of all nations that had almost the authentic pyramidal form. Why did God do that? He does nothing for nothing. Nothing is by hazard. He knew that because a time will come whereby it is not the time of messengers, the time of the church ages, but when it comes to the time of the age of the bride, in the dispensation of the fullness of time, secondfold, at the end of the end time, when it is the bride age and he wants to manifest his bride, he'll make sure that the place where he manifests his bride to begin with, even that land where they will be pyramidal, as a sign that He is the one who has chosen that nation. And we said when he chooses a nation, he chooses the people. And when he chooses the people, it is the sons and of God. And when he does that, it chooses them because of their heart. So while the bride will be described spiritually, even physically, that land will be representing the bride, who is symbolized by a pyramid. Look at the German Cameroon of 1884, and you'll see what you're talking about. Finally, we want to consider another thing. Why has God chosen Cameroon? God has chosen Cameroon because Cameroon will be the place whereby the kingdom of heaven starts from. It is for the very reason why we saw that when he chooses a nation, he has chosen the people. And he has chosen the people, he has chosen the government. And when he has chosen the government, he has even chosen the president. His Excellency, President Paul Biya, is a son of God, chosen by God for the purposes of forerunning the new world divine order. He is a prophet of God, chosen for the purposes of judging the new world satanic order. He is a prophet of God, chosen for the purpose of forerunning the kingdom of heavens, which is at hand, starting from Cameroon Republic. Why has God chosen Cameroon? If you look at Isaiah chapter 19, from verse 19, you see that there shall be a pillar at the border of the land of Egypt, that is at the border of Africa, and it shall be for a sign and a witness. Mount Cameroon is the place whereby God decided to open the seven thunders to none other than Major Prophet Masok Pamena Louis. God has chosen it to be the place whereby he has revealed his unwritten word. The whole counsel of God, the secret mind of God, all of it has been today revealed from Cameroon. There are very, very many other reasons why Cameroon has been chosen, but this will suffice for this edition. Thank you for being with us. We are glad that you joined us in this edition of God Manifold Wisdom. The part 5 of this series will be coming soon. Feel free to like this video, to share it with a friend, to subscribe to our channel and look at the other videos around. You can also comment. Ask the God Manifold Wisdom community. We love to hear from you. You can hit the notification bell icon so that whenever we upload a new video, it comes your way. Thank you and God bless you.